Hi guys, this is Kirsten with Loki and Friends, and today I'm going to be giving you some traveling tips if you plan on taking any sort of road trip, long or small, with your little furry loved ones, rats. So, in particular, I just realized there are more than just rats in the world. It's a shock, I know. So, the first tip is to make sure that the carrier you are taking them in is as secure as possible. I would suggest using a small cat carrier. That is what we use to take our girls from California to Colorado and back. Not all in one day, of course, that's kind of pointless. But the cat carrier is enclosed. They feel more at home because it's dark and cozy, and it's really, really durable. So you know they can't really escape out of it. And that is very vital, especially if there happens to be a lot of bumps and shakes along the way, since, you know, it is a road trip. Number 2 tip is put in some familiar objects in the carrier itself. Things like a hammock or a hideaway, or even some of the fleece that you usually use if you do use fleece, or just use like a bit of their used litter. That sounds really gross, but it actually does help calm them because it actually smells like home to them. It smells like them, and it just makes them a lot more calm and comfortable. And number 3, put a small chunk of cucumber in with them to keep them hydrated, especially if you're going for hours and hours as opposed to a leaky water bottle. Water bottles are notorious for leaking and making messes, and especially if they're being jostled, and in the car they will get jostled and they will just make a huge mess. So yes, cucumber, that's what we use. It worked just fine. It worked completely okay. Number 4, when you get the rats in the carrier, give them an extra special treat. This is more for like conditioning, and it is ideal if you're doing this more than just the day of the trip. So for example, if you know you're going to be going on a trip in 2 weeks, just every other day or every day, just put them in there, give them a treat, and let them hang out in there, and then put them back in their cage so that they just kind of know that it's a safe place, that it's okay, and they kind of hopefully will start to associate it with a yummy treat, whatever that may be for your rat. Number 5, keep them away, if at all possible, from a loud speaker or just a speaker in general, because they have sensitive ears and they will hurt them, and it just will add to the whole stress level. So just keep them away from the doors. I would say the best seat to incorporate all the tips would be the front seat, not the front seat. I guess if you can, if you don't have anyone else traveling with you, then the front seat. But the next would be the back middle seat. You know what I'm talking about? Like if you have a 2-car rows. I don't know how do you explain that?
Just the middle seat before the trunk.
Yes, or yeah, or right after the driver. The middle, I don't know. It's complicated. I'll show a diagram if I have to. So that would be the best. And number 6, if you travel in summer, make sure that they are cool. Rats do not like heat. They will just get heat stroke, and that would just be awful for you and for them especially to deal with. So make sure that they are properly, you know, cooled down, that the air conditioning can hit them, and just kind of hang out by them if you can and see if they're overheating. A tip also is whenever you stop, if it's a long trip, to go to the bathroom, have someone hold them against the air vent or walk them around. And also, if, like I said with the cucumber, have it chilled, and that will definitely lower it. And also number 7, if it's a longer trip, you will have to provide some food, but just put a tiny amount, just like a little amount, in a heavy ceramic container so that it doesn't fall over anywhere. And most likely, if they're like our rats, they just were so like discombobulated that they didn't really eat that much until the car stopped, and then they would just pig out. But put enough so in case they get really munchy, or if they do happen to be really hungry, they can have that option. So those are the tips for road trip travel. Another one that I forgot to specifically mention, if you're going, you know, into a different country or just a different state, even make sure that it is allowed and that you can actually take them and then take them back. I know for us personally, we didn't realize this because we've never done it ourselves, but they have checkpoints between California and, what is it, I forget, Nevada.
Yeah.
It's between there, and they could possibly have a problem there. So make sure that you know ahead of time. Don't be like us, like panicking, like as we're driving, like, oh my god, they might take our animals. They didn't take our animals. It was fine. They weren't even there, but sometimes they are, especially if it's like at a, what is it, like a holiday? They are notorious for that. So just check, make sure, especially if you're going between countries. I know for sure there is going to be something. So those are our tips, and be safe, be smart, and if you have any other suggestions for people traveling with their rats, please list them down below, and we'll be happy to include them in maybe a future updated video. So we'll see you guys later. Bye.